for people who are experiencing, who have experienced past trauma, and which is, i.e., everyone, is forgiveness, right? What that amounts to, right? The question of, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy, is also the question of, do I want to forgive? Do I want to let go? Do I want to, accept what happened and pursue a future where I can be happy now? Or do I want to stay stuck in what happened before and in those feelings of what happened before and in the guilt and shame? Or do I want to forgive it? And forgiveness for Muslims, right? We are taught how powerful, how important, how necessary it is to be Muslim, to be a believer, to be a human. We must A, ask God for forgiveness, and B, allow ourselves to receive the blessing of that forgiveness by forgiving ourselves and letting it go, right? The story of Adam, salam, is not the story of him making that mistake and then running around punishing himself for the rest of his life. Oh my God, I shouldn't have eaten, No, it's that he was forgiven. Okay, now I'm making a life for myself here, doing this, doing that. Like, you move on. I know that I was forgiven, and you move on. And so with the trauma, the thing that can trip up people here is that if the trauma was inflicted upon you and you were abused or mistreated by someone, forgiveness can be seen as absolving the other person of their guilt. But that's not what we mean by forgiveness. We are not saying that what they did or what happened was okay. What we are saying is that I am going to release myself from the attachment to that experience, to that event. And by releasing myself, I am setting myself free. I'm not saying that what you did was okay, but I am saying that I am no longer going to stay stuck in that place. And it's not for you. I'm not doing it for the perpetrator. I'm doing it for me, right? Forgiveness is an act of self-care, self-love for your own self. And it's to allow yourself to be like, you know what? You clearly, anyone who is inflicting abuse and harm on someone else, is suffering in some way. They're a damaged, unhealed, person. You clearly have these issues, this thing or whatever it was that was going on with you that, motivated you to do what you did to me. And I'm going to allow myself to say, that part of you that did this, right, was wrong and bad, but there is another part of you that knows, the spirit within you knows the right thing that should do. And it's kind of like you're going to kind of engage in like a spirit to spirit kind of communion. And you never have to speak to the person or like confront them or anything. You can just, sit quietly and be like, I'm going to commune with that spirit. And that spirit can help you get that release that you need. That spirit acknowledges, I should not have done that. I've made a mistake. That was wrong of me to do. And allow yourself to kind of break the chains that is binding you to that person or to that experience. And again, if that experience is within your own self, you're beating yourself up for your own mistake that you made. It's again, looking at your own spirit and being like, okay, we made a mistake. That's what we knew, or that's what we thought, or that's what we believed to be the best thing at the time. And it turns out it was terrible and the wrong thing to do. But I know deep within me that doesn't define who I am, that I, got caught up in a moment or got swept up with the wrong idea, and that's okay.
And this is a common saying, right? Is that when we hold a grudge on somebody, is like us drinking poison and hoping the other person dies.
Yeah.
Right? It does not help us. And the Prophet ﷺ showed us an example of the man who was promised Jannah 3 times, who would come to the mosque and the Prophet would single him out. This man is the man of Jannah. And then when they find out what he did, was that he forgave everyone before going to bed.
He forgave everyone what?
He forgave everyone that he encountered that day before going to sleep. Every night.
Every night he cleansed his heart.
He didn't pray more than people. He didn't fast more than people. He didn't do any sort of known ritual more than others. But he was, of course, he probably did other things. And to have that kind of heart, you had to, execute on many levels beautifully. But that was sort of the distinctive characteristics, that he was able to let go of grudges every single night before going to bed from anybody that he encountered. And that's very powerful. In fact, we have in our Limitless Love program, we have 2 guided meditations, one on forgiving the self and one on forgiving others. And everybody that does it just comes out. Just if you have a beard, your beard is wet from the tears, or, whatever it is, everybody just comes out crying, because it is not about, again, forgiveness is not about letting the other person off the hook. Allah is the ultimate judge. Like, we don't have to play the role of the judge, because Allah already set himself for that. And alhamdulillah, it's beautiful that he did. But it is to set ourselves free. That's the main thing. We set them free so we could set ourselves free.